Very, very warm. Good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is Sunday, the 18th of January 2026, and it's another Indian football discussion or Indian football and more discussion, as I've renamed it a few days ago. And the headline of the day is the ISL. What issues are still there or are still pending that needs to be sorted before the ISL can really actually factually can kick off? As linked here at the top, I've pinned it. What issues remain sorting ahead of the league happening? Trying to answer that question as well. And hi, Ashish, welcome back. And again, there are still, yeah, quite a few things need to be sorted. And let's call it this way. Because if they're not sorted, I think there are um, issues if not taken care of that will cause problems for the league to happen, and therefore want to talk about them. Want to talk about other things as well. The Indian women's team today, of course, playing in a friendly against FC Metalist Kharkiv from Ukraine, losing 0-2 to the Ukrainian women. Lydia Zaborovets with a 60th-minute penalty, and Lesia Olkhova in the 93rd minute with the two goals. And they played at the Emirhan Sports Center in Manavgat in Turkey, as is known. So a good test for the Indian women's team. And yeah, and therefore looking at what our women's can also do on that front. Okay, so Ashish, I'm doing good. And a reminder, earlier today, I did a interview on the Sportsfolio Productions YouTube channel. Of course, they are the ones who are behind the Traveler's Guide to Indian Football. And so therefore, have a look at that as well. And as I always say, if you're watching this even later on, like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. As I said, watch the short video that I did earlier today about some of the things which I feel are pending. And yeah, and we'll get to the other things, of course, that are there in Indian football. Hey, Ochut, hope you and the family are good. Watch the full match against Kharkiv Club, against Metalist Kharkiv. It's a lack of quality, physical lack of adequate preparation for AIFF, or both. Don't know whom to blame. Okay. So what's your summary? Let me know what your I couldn't watch the match. I was at an event, so I couldn't watch it. Let me know what you think, what you believe, what happened there, and maybe we can get into a discussion. I just need to get up a sec. That we talk about it, and then we'll see. Because again, a Ukrainian club side, with all its problems, all its issues, will on a normal day be better than the Indian women's national team. I guess that's one of the things that we have, and therefore, um, so therefore for me, um, you know, so therefore for me, um, yeah, again losing 2-0 sounds okay. But again, if I look at the starting lineup, again, tell me more. Pantho in goal, Nirmala, Shilki, Julie, Sangita, Rimpa, Haldar, Anju Tamang, Piara, Martina, Astam, Jasoda, so to say, by numbers in the starting lineup. Pantho as captain, very interesting to see. Yeah, certain questions remain. Certain players supposedly also injured, so therefore we'll have to wait and see what is it. Did you see the RFP? How is it, Prasad? It's a normal RFP. Nothing extraordinary in it. It's just a document which is asking for you to reply with interest in regard to production. I mean, um, yeah, I would be very, very surprised if there's anyone who actually comes forward. Request for proposal in regard to the media rights. because the bids can be submitted till the 1st of Feb. The problem at the moment is, I think, where are you playing and how? And therefore, to me, that's a question. Um, yeah, we will have to wait and see what happens really. And that's, I think, that's going to be the question. And again, to me, at the moment, I would be surprised if a Star Sports or a Sony come on board. Again, wonders can happen, but I see DD Sports the most likely. But again, you have to deliver DD most probably a finished product. So that's the question: who can do that? So your summary, Uchud, is physically inferior. Okay, Ukrainian goalkeeper didn't seem to have the problems other women goalkeepers have. Interesting. Lack of practice was evident, despite the girls, of course, um, having had now the so-called 20-day IWL. Second, third passes not reaching your player. That is also a problem, which again we see in the men's game, match dominated by the club. So, so the summary for you is that we weren't up to the task. We played an opponent who was better than us um, overall, and that will be or should be a concern, right? Because we will have to come from the angle of fighting, and let's wait and see. Sir, is the Noida Football Academy Asli doing good? I don't know enough about the Noida Football Academy X9P, so therefore I can't tell you if they're doing good or not. So sorry. Kerala Blasters C and EMS Corporation made an agreement, right? But when will the stadium be ready? Prasad, the problem is to me with like most venues, 15th, 14th, 15th of Feb, if that is your target, I find it very difficult. Um, and so therefore, let's wait and see. I think a lot of people are being very, very um overambitious. That's why the issues which to me remain are the grounds. And if the grounds are not ready, are not available, it creates a kind of problem and that we'll have to work through. Sir, Ukrainian club was good in attacking. I watched full match. Maybe Manisha Kalyana Vikas Singh attacking player defense was good. Okay. XMP again, I get that summary as well. As I said, I couldn't watch the game, and Uchut has put together the same summary. So if I see that as a first point of trying to relate to things, then I would say for understanding it that they were physically stronger, better than us, and that was one of the reasons why we weren't able to really challenge them, and that, in my opinion, is a worry, is a concern. When will Amelia Valverde start with the women's national team? Annabelle, depends if she's. I've not. Again, the AFF has not officially confirmed her, so it is confirmed, but it's not officially confirmed. Um, and to me, let's wait and see when she joins and where she joins. If she joins during the Turkey camp, um, yeah, that is something that has to see. Can Interkashi not play in Jamshedpur? Orko, I don't know if Jamshedpur FC is open to teams sharing the ground. So that's your first question. And secondly, nobody has any. Interkashi doesn't have a base in Jamshedpur. So theoretically, for them, saying, you know what, let me, if I have to do home matches, let me do it in Kolani. That is most probably the cheapest option for them to do everything, because even if the ground, let's say in Jamshedpur, is free, I have to keep people in Jamshedpur to organize my home matches, and that is from a price cost perspective higher. And that makes me concerned about our opponents in Asian Cup. What should I have said this from the start? You know, you know. So therefore, for me, my concerns have been there, are there, will be there, because our girls are underprepared. That's one fact. And the question of our quality has to be, put into the room. And those things are, if you add them together, that's very, very concerning at the moment. So therefore, for me, if you ask me, those are things that we need to look at, need to consider, and need to be worried about at this moment in time. And therefore, for me, that's something that we have to work very, very hard, right? And again, it's going to be very interesting to see how we are going to get out of this situation and prepare ourselves better. But at the moment, without having seen it, Just looking at the result, seeing what you are saying, SOS. That's what I would say if I was the AFF. Sir, is Nosrat Musa only attacking Indian coach? Is he really attacking? That would be my question. X9P, was he attacking or was he given the attacking opportunity by the opponents? Again, it depends on the opponent, right? India also played, if I look at it, against Singapore, an attacking game at home. So was India attacking, not attacking? That's a that's worth a conversation, right? So therefore, for me, it's always it's always the question: how do coaches play, and what player material do you have available, right? You can say, oh, you know what, I want to play attacking. Okay, and very nice. You want to play attacking. Do you have the players to play attacking? That would be my first question. You know, and therefore, for me, it sounds sometimes very, very easy. Uh, uh, um, so therefore, for me, if you ask me, in the given, uh, you know, so therefore, yeah, it's a very big challenge, and yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Maybe 2 3 days we can see him very officially. If it will be good time getting in soon. XNP, I said, there's the AFF has not said anything formally, and you know, let's see. Is Khalid getting sacked anytime soon, or we are going to the next work call for Khalid? Ball. Hannibal, I have no clue. What Khalid has a contract, right? He doesn't have a one. He has a 2 year contract, right? So we are stuck with him till 2027 already. The question now is, are we stuck with him till 2027, or does something change? So therefore, for me, that's the first question, and I think there is no answer. And yeah, so therefore, um, I don't know. Um, Therefore, for me, yeah, the question remains: can we get out of this situation? How can we get out of this situation? And what is needed to get out of this situation? So there are a lot of questions that I have, and and will be very interesting to see what can happen or not happen. And it's yeah, it's tough. Sir, I think it's with due respect. Let's say silly first to think India will play U70 World Cup soon, with respect to current management. Yeah, Namita, it is. Um, the point is at the moment to think any of the teams will qualify for the World Cup. Again, you, I, we all can dream. Uh, so therefore, for me, um, to talk about under 17 boys or the women, under 20 women, senior women, the World Cup looks so close, right? 2 3 results going our way, boom, we're there. But for that boom to happen, we need to do our things as well. So from that perspective, oof, it's very very difficult, and it's not an easy solution per se. So therefore, for me, if you ask me, um, we're a bit off at the moment. So let's wait and see. So remember is doing fraud. You make Messiah real today. I watched in which he got 100K. Like, you don't get sponsors, sir. We will participate. Make up, sir. Please, sir, sponsor 1 crore. Useless fool. Yeah, as discussed yesterday, right? Some of you guys said you want to call it out. Call it out. Call it out. Left, right, and center. Yeah, that's it. So one question, World Cup 2030 কবে থেকে শুরু হবে? Namita, sometimes in June 2030. June, July is the window. I guess, around 8th to 10th of June would be the start. Sir, if we lose against Hong Kong, is Khalid need to be sacked even if he will get service of Ryan Williams? X9P, if, why, when, how, these guys will not fire Khalid Jamil. We're out, right? What, CS, think about returning World Cup. Keep eyes aside. Is serious an issue when in May 2026. Yep, it's in May, but please, guys, stop talking about the World Cups. I hope the next president will immediately sack him. Like that AFF doesn't have financial abilities to do so anytime soon. Hannibal, do they have the abilities? Don't they have the abilities? That's not the question. What is right? What is wrong? And he should have never been given a contract. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see. Khalid Ahmed had a good attitude, but if my students and even Sir Isaac Newton will open the class, no, Namita, forget the attitude. He's not good enough. Sorry, Khalid, but you are not for me a national team head coach material. So, and the as good or as bad as your players are, okay, let's say the players are bad. If I'm the coach, I have to get that X% extra out of them. That 5, 10, 15, 20% extra out of them. He's getting 50% out of them rather than getting 100 out of them. That's the problem. What if Baichung Bhutia was elected? Would we he have been worse or slightly better than Kalyan or same as Kalyan? Well, speculative. And again, with a lot of you ask the oh, if this has happened, if that had happened, then let's go back to 1950. If we had played the 1950 World Cup, would be now a world power in world football? I don't know. See, the point is that so many mistakes were done. With the knowledge of today, I think Baichung becoming president, certain things would run differently. If Baichung become president in 2022, I don't know if the same things might have run the same way. I cannot judge that because there are too many variables which need to be looked at. I mean the 2030 qualifiers. Namita, sometime in 2027. But I think it depends a little on the fact if the AFC introduce the Nations League, and if that happens, then it is something that might be changing. But otherwise, um, so therefore, I'm interested to see how they're going to introduce the Nations League, what impact the Nations League has on the qualifiers for the Asian Cup in 2031 and the World Cup qualifiers in 2030. But normally the qualifiers are supposed to start in 2027 if it was the same cycle as it was in the last two. Hello, Augusto. Welcome back. Quick reminder, 18 plus minutes. If you haven't, like, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. 8 likes so far. Thanks a lot. And we stand at 3,713. Thanks a lot. 3,713 subscribers here on the channel. Thank you very much. Let's keep on growing. I know we're growing slowly. And watch my short videos. I did something on the way with the questions in regard to the Indian Super League. Yeah, watch it, share it. And I've linked it across my socials. I did an interview with Sportfolio Productions in regard to an interview with me about my journey, about my work in Indian football. So please have a look at it. I think it's a very insightful interview with Johnson. And yeah, let's wait and see. It was fun. Khalid need to sack, bring foreign coach who has experienced national teams. So Steve Constantine was ideal candidate for national team. He has so much experience. X9P, yes. Stephen surely has the experience. You know, and I don't know if Stephen is going to be willing to, after not having been taken, if Stephen's going to willing to come back. So that's something that we need to consider. Does Stephen consider and consider saying, hey, listen, I want to come back to Indian football or no? Hey, Kumar, welcome back. Without creating a sports culture, we cannot do anything. Haru, yes, having a sport culture, I think at the moment for Indian football is an added bonus. To me, sports culture is always of help. But the question is, if we have the talent without even having a sports culture, we can still make it, right? But if we had both combining with each other, that would be ideal for Indian football. So if you ask me, that would be great. But yeah, we don't have it at the moment. Sir, I'm way junior to you, but as you mentioned, AFC Nations League, your face showed happiness for 3 seconds active, but honestly, no expectations. Namita, no expectations. Then the AFC Nations League is, I think, going to be good for Asian football. India, depending on, I don't know if they're going to do 3 divisions or 4 divisions. If they do 3 divisions, will be in pot two or in the second tier. And if there are 4 tiers, then we will be in the third tier. So therefore, let's wait and see. It's going to be an interesting test if and when the AFC is starting it. Again, it's just been proposed last year. So let's wait what happens. Nada, what is the importance of the Nations League, and do you expect it will give a World Cup slot? Shivam, again, I don't know what the importance will be in the end, because the AFC needs to, the AFC said we are evaluating, you know, and to me, I don't know if it's going to give World Cup slots or World Cup qualification final round slot or whatever. Um, I'm not sure which one, what will be coming out of it, but Shivam, I think for Asian football to get a little bit more complex and depend less on friendlies, it might be good. Tennis is going down. Shivan, is it? Again, I've not been following Indian tennis that closely over the last few years. Um, so therefore, for me, I wouldn't say that we are in a situation where we are sort of hopeful in with the tennis as a sport. So is it SAF championship would be like World Cup qualifier 2026? No. Why would the SAF SAF championship be like the World Cup qualifier? SAF championship is a regional championship, so it will be like the CAFA Nations League. So you will watch World Cup, I'll watch SAF. Let's compare levels. Oh, Namita, that is brutal. You can also watch the World Cup, and I can also watch the SAF. No, and now the Khalid tactics are like hope tactics. Kumar, not even hope tactics. His is stand. It's not even hope and wish. You know, um, it is. I don't know what to call it actually. It's so difficult to give it a name. Yeah, that's the thing. How India World Cup qualify? Which team we need to face to be in World Cup? X9P. We're not talking about World Cup qualifiers, now. We'll be in the early rounds of the qualifiers. Forget third round, fourth round. I don't even know what the format will be. Shivam, even if Nations League guarantees a World Cup spot, don't even think we're gonna be in it. Namita, we cannot be in it now. Hello, next gen blue. Remember brother Garvett, I told you about, well, I told him about you. Also, he made his debut with Oberliga 23 and played on 70 minutes. He felt so good. Great to hear about Garvett. Do you think the owners of Arsenal only care about creating a fan base? Some do, and some don't. When was even Indian tennis up? I remember around the 2000s. I mean, I spoke a little about it on the earlier podcast today, because to me, Mahesh Bhubati, Leander Pace, number one in the world, Sania Mirza, top 30. Uh, we had much better times in the past. Um, and our Nations League will tell us what is the level of our national team in Asia. If we top the group, we will be promoted. And disasters as teams in the group, we will be demoted. Kumar, the qualifiers have also shown where we stand, right? You don't need the Nations League to tell us where we stand, where we don't stand, right? Even if, as per our rankings, we should have won the group that we played, right? And so, therefore, for me, Nations League is an added bonus. But where we stand, even now, you can tell us where I could tell you where we stand. I mean, sir, competitions after with World Cup qualifiers, Bangladesh team becomes stronger, Sri Lanka team becomes stronger, Pakistan, if it gets proper league with British origin player, will easily beat India. You compare, yeah. Let's wait and see who is how strong or not. Bangladesh, we know, are better than us at this moment. Sri Lanka potentially, but Sri Lanka, the results are a little mixed, and Pakistan also potentially stronger, but Pakistan's result don't say that. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see where these teams and how these teams are. Sir, any OCPA news? Is there some convo? No. Namita, there are conversations that once in a while either the current AFF themselves put out, or the sports ministry. So let's wait and see. But at the moment, there is no movement. One Indian was first to bring Wimbledon Asia. There are multiple Indians who have been successful. Leander has been successful, and yeah, Vishwanathan Anand and others. So yeah. So when will work for 2030? I said 2027, but again, if Nations League is implemented, I don't know how the format will be. Do you think AFC Nations League will help international men's team considering we don't have any tournament for next 3 years? Next Gen Blue, we have tournaments for the next 3 years. I don't know how you come to the next 3 years. SAF this year, which is again important for us because that's our new Asian Cup. And as I said, normally the World Cup qualifiers, um, you know, um, you know, 2027. But again, I don't know what the format the AFC will decide. Some are thinking AFC Nations League to be like the actual Nations League, like me. What is an actual Nations League, Namita? Could you explain me that? I used to bring a lot of boys with me to watch Delhi FC whenever they were playing, but suddenly they shifted their base without informing them. I generally believe that no one cares about fans. Okay. Yeah, maybe. But I think there are clubs who care. But now if they were a flop in the third group of the Nations League, then we will be thrown to the last group. Yeah, Kumar. But again, we are last in our group in these AFC Asian Cup qualifiers as well. Vishwanath Anand was chess player, not Vishwanathan Anand, Ranganathan. Um, yeah, Ramesh. Um, what was the name of Ramesh Krishnan's dad? Ramesh Krishnan. Uh, Wait 1 second. What is this? Ramesh Krishnan, Ramesh Krishnan, Ramesh Krishnan. Ramesh Krishnan himself won Wimbledon and French Open juniors in 1979. Ramanathan Krishnan. Yeah, I was right. Ramanathan Krishnan. So, yeah. The last group means the fourth group, as we assumed. Yeah, but again, Aruna, a personal question. You told me that you have no kids, so wanted to ask, like, how do you manage life alone? Don't you feel lonely? No, friends, I'm fine. I've got friends. I've got my parents. So, no, I'm not lonely. साफ गरीबों का वर्ल्ड कप जब लोग वर्ल्ड कप देखते इंडिया बांग्लादेश पाकिस्तान नेपाल वाले लोग साफ देख के खुश हो जाते हैं yeah but X9P again right if you don't have anything else that is what you need to play so therefore for us it is our own version of the World Cup or something else as we want to see it. I mean the European Nations League. Namita, the European Nations League is an own is has taken time to establish itself. If you think when it was started in 2016, it didn't have many takers, right? A lot of people, a lot of nations were critical about it. I saw it here in Germany, and over the last 2, 3, 4 years, um, they seem to start to like it. So that's and so therefore, um, yeah, it's been now accepted. Same as with CONCACAF, where you have also the CONCACAF Nations League in North America. So that's the case. What's your view on AFC Nations League, bro? Ellis, I think it could be a good tournament. The question is how it will be used. So therefore, for me, you know, um, so that's the point to me. But again, uh, so therefore, sorry. Yeah, that's why for me, we have to prove it. So if it happens, it could be good. So you said Vishwanathan Anand by mistake, sir. That's why. Okay, okay. Sorry. The Vishwanathan Anand was not Ramanathan Krishnan was the name I wanted to say. Sorry. It's initially will be in 27 or 20. I don't think it will be this year. Again, the AFC is still in planning stages. Sir, but 2030 World Cup, Digben Saudi te live. 2030 is not in Saudi. 2030 is in Spain and Portugal, Morocco, with opening matches in Argentina, Uruguay, and Colombia, if I'm right. Right? So could be Spain, Portugal. Yeah, surely possible to watch matches there. Then ask coach. Coach asked Salimane to reverse retirement. He's done well for his national team. Do you think that we're going for Kafa Cup this year also? Ellis, I don't think Kafa Nations Cup will happen this year. I think it's a biannual. Is it the biannual? Sorry, before I say something wrong, let me just check. Yeah, it's a biannual thing, so it will happen the next time in 2025. 27, sorry. It happened in 25, right? So therefore, for me, Ellis, next year. And are we going to be invited? I have no clue. No clue. Oh, I confused 2030 with 2034. Sorry. Yeah. 2030 in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, sort of Iberian Peninsula and northwestern tip of Africa, with opening matches because of the 100th anniversary of the World Cup. Argentina, Uruguay, and Colombia. So, yeah, that's what is the current plan of FIFA. So, do you think we can get AFC Asian Cup bid under the current AFF? No. If the right people come in and they put in a right bid, a good bid, I think the AFC could give us the tournament if they trust in us. But that is the big question at the end of the day. Not only that, it's a big challenge also from in my perspective. And yeah, will be very interesting to see what happens. But under current AFF regime, I don't see it coming here. So imagine World Cup 2038 in Kolkata, blue and white stadium. You know what I mean. Yeah, but I know, but 2038, I can tell you clearly, after 2034 World Cup in Saudi Arabia will not happen in Asia. So that World Cup, don't even know where it's going to go, but it's not going to come this side of the world. Maybe Africa could, no, Africa is going to get, I don't know, might be going, Europe, no, I don't know. Don't even know where it could go at the moment. It is like they already put bid for Asian Cup. Yeah, they had one, 2031. Yeah, 2031, India's bid for the um 2031. So the confirmed bids at the moment are Australia, India, Indonesia, Kuwait, South Korea, and a joint bid of Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. So, and so far, the UAE has withdrawn its bid. If you would have suggestions, which confederation would you have like India to join instead of SAF? Ellis, there is none. Yeah. It's not a confederation because a confederation is a continent. A regional federation, if you ask me, there is no. India is part of SAF. India is not going left, right, and center. It could go to Antarctica. Now, why not? Build in one venue, maybe. Who knows? No. So again, I know you mean it as a joke, but yeah. Sir, is 2042, 2046, we can host a qualifier for World Cup. X9P, I think if you would ask me realistically, if 2034 is in Saudi, looking at the cycles, mm, 46 maybe. 2050 we could host. Yeah, theoretically. Do we qualify on merit? No. Looking at this current mess, if I want to qualify for 2046, let's say 20-year cycle, my youth development system, my youth development structure needs to be sorted. Right? And that's not the case. So therefore, if you ask me an honest question, do I believe that we can get there? No. On merit, no chance at the moment, except if PIOs, OCIs become a topic. To me, there are a lot of things that we need to keep in mind. And if we don't keep them in mind, um, we don't need to dream about. That's why I say, guys, let's go with a clean mind, a clean slate into all the Asian competitions this year, right? AFC Women's Asian Cup, AFC Under 20 Women's Asian Cup, AFC Under 17 Women's Asian Cup, and of course, AFC Under 17 Asian Cup. If we achieve something, if we get somewhere, you, I, we all would be much more than happy, right? South Korea has one bid for sure. Let's see now. So majorities will depart the world by then. It can't be that old, Namita, that you'll depart by 2050. That's just 24 years away. I hope that you, I, we all will be there. Being honest, without OCI, no 2034 World Cup, 28 dream qualifying, maybe ideally 24, 26, 50, maybe FIFA India, and if 20 to host, we automatically qualify for World Cup for 100 years. X9P, again, I don't want to go ahead so far in our thinking. I want to sort out our stuff in 2026. I want us to sort out our things in this year and not dream about something way down the road, which might, maybe happen. Right. So if you ask me at this moment in time, um, I find it very difficult to think of us and a World Cup as much as I would like to see it. But at the moment, I find it very difficult. So, have you seen a player's attitude after they lose? That says it all. Good night, sir. Now, with the player's attitude, I know you speak about it. I recently did, I don't know if you've seen my interview, which I did with Pritam Kota, speaking about certain things. Um, and I told, and Pritam tried to explain it from a player's perspective. And I'm trying to do some interviews with certain people. I have been delaying them for different reasons, but to me, the players, I know from a fan perspective, it is a problem. You think it's a problem, uh, you know, um, but right, that's the reality. What's your view on uprise of football in Uzbekistan qualifying for FIFA World Cup? Ellis, yes, Uzbekistan seems to be doing better. Some of the best players are now in Europe. But Uzbekistan to me has been since the 1990s the underperformers of Asian football. I would have expected Uzbekistan over the last 3 decades to at least have qualified for one or two World Cups. So they've only gotten there now. And I would have thought, hoped, wished for them that Uzbekistan would have qualified for a World Cup in the last, as I said, 3 decades, because they are one of the better teams in Asian football, right? So therefore, for me, um, if you ask me, it is a tough ask. But to me, as I say, Uzbekistan, I would have said I would have expected more from them over the years. After Ryan Williams, which OCI player would you have liked to join Indian national team? Ellis, I don't have an issue with whoever joins. To me, the route of OCI players coming to India and play, I think that's the wrong one. I would like the government of India to make the necessary amendments to enable OCIs to represent India in sports, in not only football but across sports. I think it's very, very important. Um, and again, I be it a Yandanda, I would like to see Danny Bath play for us before he retires. All these guys. So therefore, lot of players, that we could would talk about. But yeah, it's there's no simple answer to that. So being honest with Osea Peyo, best player 2038, 21. Yes, sir. I know we should out every problem, but seeing current situation, there was no chance. X9P, that's what I'm saying. That you're going into 2040 246, 2050. We at the moment in Indian football do not know what is happening in the year 2026. You, I, we do not know what is happening next week. And you are looking up to 24 years into the future, hoping, wishing that things rectify themselves and we move in the right direction. That is a concern to me. Because for me, if I'm looking at 46, let's say, yeah, 20 years into the future, right? It's not too far away. But my problem is that if I see the things as I see them at this moment in time with the realities of this moment in time, then the reality is that we are far, far away from where we could be. So to me, so therefore for me, it's as much again as much as I would like to associate, we'll have to see. Daniel Sim was also good. Also, listen, Ellis, I didn't list everyone. If I could list everyone, I can name you 50, 60, 70 players, right? We have to also filter it out. A lot of discussion today was watching your conversation with Jonathan joined late. Yeah, not Jonathan, Johnson. His name is Johnson. I was on the Sport Folio Productions website. They're, of course, the people who have created the Traveler's Guide to Indian football. And I was a guest on their show. And we spoke for over 1 hour, 45 minutes. And yeah, it was an enjoyable show. I've linked it here on my other socials as well. My interview on their channel is available. Watch it and enjoy it, guys. Women's national team performance today reactions. I didn't watch it, so I can't give you a reaction from my side. Raj, I saw the result. I've read the report. I asked at the start. So therefore, um, 2-0 loss to Metalist Kharkiv from Ukraine. Um, yeah. So therefore, for me, okay. But Ochut raised the question. So watch the early part of this discussion if you want to. He raises the question of quality with the team, and that is, yeah, it's a question that needs to be raised. And therefore, to me, yeah, preparations, lack of preparations, quality. Says the second or third pass doesn't reach players, you know. So therefore, let's see what happens. Who's Jonathan? There is no Jonathan Kumar Johnson, as I just explained. So Yandanda running style, simple, make realize European quality. I've noticed that European players have different running style. Okay, X9P. 2026 World Cup, which country is strong contender to win? Unless if you ask me, um, if you ask me amongst the contenders, if you ask me that way, um, surely Spain. Spain are my top favorites. You would have to put France into that pool, England, Argentina as defending champions, Germany to me comes to mind, and then some crazy ones. You know, um, the goodbye tour of Cristiano Ronaldo. How good is Norway gonna be with Erling Haaland and Martin Odegaard? Yeah, so therefore there's a lot of you know non World Cup champion countries who could be uh, causing surprises, upsets, or let's talk about Morocco as well. So therefore these are a lot of countries that come into the mix, and we'll have to wait and see what these countries can actually factually do in the um yeah in football, right? So therefore that's going to be an interesting question. Sorry, Johnson auto-corrected. No problem. Making sport documentary. Yeah. Sportfolio production. They've done the Traveler's Guide to Inner Football, with episodes on Bengal football, Hyderabad football, Punjab football, um, uh, Sikkim football, and Kashmir football. Very, very interesting. You know, and let me link my interview here if you want to watch it. That's the link to the interview if you want to watch it, guys. Watch and enjoy. Another, I want to see Japan perform well in World Cup 2000. Let's see, Kumar. Japan outperformed last season, uh, you know, and let's see what they're able to do this World Cup. Interesting group they are in. We talk about players' quality, but forget about coaches. No, we don't, Raj. I mentioned that to me is a problem, right? And um, to me, the problem, all these problems are at multiple levels, right? So we're talking about the quality of the coaches, the quality of the players, the lack of, are they able to join to learn things, become better? Yeah, very difficult, very very difficult, right? To me, that's the problem. Achha, that was the interviews portfolio. A little earlier today, Alex Ferguson also Mourinho. How do you see them? Morally, two different coaches, both very very successful. Mourinho very defensive minded. Yeah, and Alex Ferguson a little different in his style of football. Different coaches, different generations also. Coaches are not that of quality. How can they produce quality products despite having AC licenses? I feel they lack football knowledge. Raj, the licenses is just a sort of a stamp of authorization that you can coach at a certain level, right? Um, the problem is with that, you know, um, that for our coaches to be better, they can have the licenses. The licenses doesn't speak about what the quality of the coaches is. The license, yeah, let's see what happens. What makes a league, top league like EPL, La Liga, Serie A, is money or success? Success. Money helps to push it to another level, but you have to have success. And forget success, it has to have a certain level of quality and fan following. Mourinho rumors of coming to Madrid. Okay, I haven't heard it. Hearing for the first time, Raj. Players before league confirmation, we can sacrifice anything. Just start the league after the league confirmed. The same players were not ready to for pay cuts. Goku, there are reasons to it. No? So if you ask me, a lot of players playing for clubs asked to do this, asked to do that. The players agree to certain things, don't agree to certain things. And then you see your owners splashing money at Lionel Messi a few weeks ago. Then you think, why should I? Right? Did you see what Marcus tweeted regarding the broadcast bids? Yes, Augusto, I did. Again, it's out in the market, and I'm interested to see if anyone's gonna bid for it. Another, I think Ronaldo became a burden to Portugal. I was a Ronaldo fan, not anymore, but football fan now. Yeah, Kumar. I- If you see, uh, for example, the backlash in the last few weeks at Al Nassr after they threw away their lead in the Saudi Pro League, where they were top of the league, and now they're once again chasing Al Hilal. So therefore, for me, yeah, he's become a burden for club and country, it seems. So maybe we can't see Danny Bath already 35 policy comes in this year or next year. Only possible you have interview with express desire to represent the Indian team. Yeah. Let's wait and see. Again, XMP, I would love to see Danny in an India shirt. Um, so therefore, let's wait and see if Danny gets to play for India or not. Harry Kane on Holland. Oh, Murali, I will go for Harry Kane because for me, Harry Kane is at the moment the most complete player in the world. So, so therefore, for me, and if you see the way he played yesterday again, um, or even the third goal he set up against FC Cologne the other day, um, Harry is an exceptional footballer, and yeah, and that makes him, you know, um, yeah, different class, different quality. I have to say. Maracos, I'm in dating rumors with Bollywood actress, bro. Ellis, not really interested in that to talk about this year. Comparing Messi for salary cut. Raj, again, the salary cut comparison is not there. If you ask me, you know, there are certain reasons. There are also certain drastic demands of, you know. So therefore, let's see what happens. Over the years, Jude Bellingham, how we see him at Real Madrid. Morali, first season, exceptional. Since then, seems to be a burden, right? Jude Bellingham has stagnated. Jude Bellingham has not gotten bad. Like with all the players that Real Madrid seem to have at the moment, there is an issue, right? There is an attitude problem with the Real Madrid boys, and therefore they're not progressing. And that's the reality of things, right? So therefore, for me, um, he has to show that he's better than what you or I think he is. So Bellingham has to move up. Yep, Fancourt might bid for it. Augusto, let's wait and see if they're going to do it. Kane in club versus country. I would currently say club. At Bayern Munich, exceptional. Sir, I was asking you, said you interviewed 10, 12 years ago where you also expressed desire to represent. Yeah, I spoke to um, Danny Bath in 2013 at Wembley. Yeah. How do you see current Real Madrid versus Gareth Bale? Current Real Madrid is a mess, but the culture wasn't the difference. It was just that the players maybe were better than they are today. This cultural problem, right? That uh, so therefore, most probably the Gareth Bale, Real Madrid, not they've won more, so therefore it is. Should you come to Delhi to record the ZBV podcast with Roba? Yes, they will meet. I didn't come to record the podcast. I was in Delhi for a couple of days earlier last month, and therefore, and I met Shashwat. That's the name of Dog Baba. I met Shashwat socially, and then we decided to meet up the next day, and that's where this then recording happened at his place. Okay. Have you seen current issue of badminton hygienic and pollution in Delhi? Yeah, Murali. Um, to me, people trying to defend it are making a complete fool of themselves because that's an issue. You cannot um, have monkeys in the stadium. You have pigeons in the stadium. They are, yes, if you have pigeons in the stadium, then they will have droppings. So therefore, and if you see the venue, if you see that is the training venues are too cold, there's that everything, it's the wrong place. And these government-run institutions of in regarding sporting venues, I faced this with the Nehru Stadium myself in the past. Big problem in an Indian context. Arunava, Harry Kane can hold the ball, can play as false nine, he can assist, and he will help in the build-up and the deep also. Has limited capabilities. Kumar, different kind of strikers. So therefore, you cannot say Erling Haaland has limited capabilities. He's a bulldozer of a striker, and he will work his way through, and he can pick up the ball in the middle of the field and also run. But you're comparing two totally different styles of players. But again, if you say, um, Harry Kane has over time evolved as a striker. Harry Kane wasn't the striker of this quality when he was at Tottenham. He has evolved massively in the German Bundesliga over the last 2.5 years. Why Ronaldo and Al Nassr not successful to lift any major trophy of you, bro? It is concentrated and fixated on him, and the team is actually better without him. I would think. I think that Al Nassr as a team are better without Cristiano Ronaldo. And that is, yeah, that's a fact. right? Some say Ronaldo is a curse for Al-Nassr. Raj, I think yes. If you want to take it to that level, I would say yes. He has won nothing with them, right? It is better to shift all sporting events, especially international events, from Delhi to other places in India. I don't think there's a lack of infrastructure in other major cities. Goku, that's your problem. You've just answered your own question. The point is you can do it. The question is it a sporting venue? India has built sporting venues, which makes no sense. That Tiagrad Stadium is anyway too big. India needs new generation indoor sporting arenas, and it doesn't have it. Unless stadiums are privately owned, we will see the same things over years, decades. That's the thing. But private venues, how many private venues do you have in India, right? We come back to a discussion we've had multiple times on this very channel. How many private owned, operated sporting venues do you have in India? We don't have. Do you think European standard doesn't fit in India, especially hygiene, pollution, agree with pollution? They're fine player. Morally, it is not a question of if Indian standards are not those of the European standards. If I'm doing a sporting event anywhere in the world, right? Forget European standard. Indian standards are not good enough in a sport like badminton, which is big in China and Southeast Asia. I've never seen again, maybe I missed it, but I've not seen these kind of problems in a stadium in Southeast Asia or in China. Forget Europe. Why are you getting to Europe? We don't need to get to Europe. Europeans mentioned it. The others are, you know, the Southeast Asians don't speak about these things. They're courteous, but it is a mess. It's a mess. It's a disgrace. But again, and then people are trying to defend it, make it worse. Why did all ISL clubs go together sooner to present their views on the failure of the KC regime? Arnav, they're not part of the case. So what's the point of going to the Supreme Court? What? Try to explain to me what is would be the value for the ISL clubs to put everything together of all failures into a document, go to the Supreme Court, present it to them. What they're going to do? What do you want them to do? Sir, you support Messi, sir. Yeah, Messi, you pick. See, Ellis, I go from a football thingy, and Messi is the much better footballer, right? And it's the same discussion. If you ask me, Baichung Bhutia or I'm Vijan, I'll go for I'm Vijan because I'm Vijan is the better footballer, or even compared to Sunil, right? I'm Vijan was by far the best footballer, so that's the thing, right? So I will I will I will go with that if you ask me that way. A lot of work to do, need to be far better than March 4th if we have any will of doing good at the Asia Cup. Huge should be done at defense, mid, and most importantly, attack. Hopefully, they improve. Shanlata, I said, I am prepared for worst case scenario. These preparations, where are they taking us? What is happening? All of the things that I've been mentioning for weeks, for months, they are coming to truth, and I'm worried. Uchud said at the start of the show as well. Now, when he said I watched the game, I said he's worried. We're worried, you know. Uh, so that's the point. It's to me, it's such a complex mess now within the AFF. The women's okay exposure. Supposedly, Amelia Valverde will come in the coming days. Great. Is it going to solve any of the problems of this team? Right. Yeah. So that's the thing. Right. Over an hour on this live, guys. If you like, share, and subscribe, please. As always, 13 likes. I think, guys, we can do better than that. And of course, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel 3713 and watch the short videos that I try and do on a daily basis. Do you think this kind of this make India environment hosting bigger sporting events, the amount of hatred in social media unbelievable? Well, forget social media hatred. Honestly, if you think that is your yardstick of your problem, then is the same issues have been raised with India. Again, this is not the first time these badminton players are raising this topic. Tennis player is raised this topic. Um, we saw the mess around Messi, right? People will in India are talking only about Kolkata. It was everywhere. There were issues which don't look good to the eye. So you've got federation issues. Who's gonna look at us and say, you know what, you're a serious contender for a sporting event? So yeah, if India can't sort the basics, nothing will happen. So was it necessary to make changes in constitutions? Or is it needed? You guys can't take a decision. That's the whole point, Raj. They need to take decision themselves. They're not. They have not taken it, and they will not taken it. Yeah. Valverde, Kroos, Kevin De Bruyne. What difference? The three different kind of midfielders. No? Kroos is the controlling one. De Bruyne is who can go box to box. Valverde still has to find his feet, in my opinion. Right. I bet there will be no matches in Kolkata Bengal elections. Raj, let's see. Again, that's why I am very worried with the 14th of Feb as a date. Maybe Jamshedpur is ready, maybe Goa is ready. And then I'm very interested to see which ground will be ready for the tournament. So therefore, for me, um, yeah, we'll have to wait. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Ronaldo is very good, but Messi is greatest because his whole playmaker, dribbler gives world class assist. Yeah, Shanlata, if he's the greatest or not, that's a different conversation. But he's up there. Denmark shuttler skip tournament for pollution reasoning. They find him unbelievable. Do you think foreigners, especially the kind of environment they grow in India, is very difficult to adopt? Yes. Morally, forget the foreigners. Even I. Last time I just spoke a little earlier. That was in Delhi and they did the podcast with Drog Baba and was in Delhi for a couple of days. Not even to full 2 days. And on the way back, spent 4 hours in Delhi again. And I caught a cold. And it was not a cold. I got choked, right? Because of the pollution. Uh, you know, so therefore for me, that's the problem. And the shuttlers, again, if I'm organizing an international tournament, I need to have in certain areas a minimum standard. Doesn't matter if it's stadium, if it's this, if it's that, if it's whatever, it is all of these things you want and you need a minimum standard. And that is, you know, um, yeah. And that is, we can't keep because that venue is not appropriate for what you want and what you need. Sir, Indian football team is weak in playing football, but it needed to develop. Yeah, Tripura, sir. Yes, we need to be better. And are we weak? I don't know if we're gonna, if we could call us or should call ourselves weak, but we're not good enough. For people, Kolkata mess is big, but CM playing that horrible is okay. Raj, there are enough problems at each venue that Messi went, had its, an Indian context. There's politics involved in these things as well. Let's see. Dada, what's happening with Handball Association of India? Abhishek, nothing as much because there is Handball Association and there's Handball Federation of India, and it's a mess at the moment. I currently stay in 70 acre in the Himalayas. When I go to Kolkata, I feel suffocated. Yeah, Raj, but if you feel suffocated in Kolkata, then go to Delhi, right? So yeah. So therefore, for me, um, so therefore for me, the whole discussion around this badminton competition is a problem because it is the way it is. Every NRI visiting India will have hard time with weather and food, and the other way around is true as well. It is a natural phenomenon, but the main problem is being prepared for international events. What should exactly an international event needs to have a certain level, a certain standard, and that is what India at the moment in some tournaments and competitions cannot provide. In others, we are more than good enough. So therefore, why is it that again this is happening for a second year in a row, right? So for me, that then is the problem, you know. So that's the thing we are trying to figure out. So right, so I don't know if it works or if it doesn't. Glorious flashback of East Bengal FC winning NFL 2003 with Cristiano Jr. becoming high scorer. Can East Bengal ever repeat that same formidable form ever again? Ellis, why not? My question to you would, if you're asking this question, right, and 2003 winning that, winning the ASEAN Club Championship, that East Bengal team was very, very special, right? Very, very special in my opinion. So then, yeah, it can be. Maybe this season is the season East Bengal can lift the ISL depending on what the situation is because most of the other teams are not keeping their foreigners. So East Bengal is one of the teams which are trying to have six foreigners, right? You still associate with HR and Abhishek. At the moment, there is no clarity on handball. That's why I'm associated with nobody. That's sadly the situation. Goku says world developed rapidly, but India remains what it was. Certain places developed. That doesn't mean the country is developing. Hard, but so therefore for me, yeah, it's we have to wake up. Me living in India have problems with weather as well because we are not used to that kind of pollution. Raj, I I go back 15, 20 years ago and I remember on one side freshness on Kolkata Maidan and you went towards Esplanade and already there 20, 25 years ago it was choking. That was the only point because old buses, this, that, everything, transport hub, whatever. That's improved. But yeah, if you're used to better weather, if you're used to less pollution, there's a problem. Which are the alternate venue we can have? Only maybe Bangalore, maybe Hyderabad. I don't know what kind of indoor sporting arenas they have. I'm sure they have indoor arenas which could host, if you ask me. Ochut says to Ellis, I was at the YBK when East Bengal won the NFL 2004. Speaks for you, huh? How old you are. And I can speak about that as well. And yeah, that's the reality. Do you think in future can India compete European team because we often had tough match with Germany, Netherlands? Monali, in some sports, yes. In most sports, no. Aspirant Hamtala is a mess as always. Raj, I think it's not that much of a mess. It's just that too many people come together over there, converge in one place, and therefore that happens. Hi, Karam. FS released RFP for media rights for ISL this season. Do you think they will get a bid this time? I would be surprised. If you ask me, Karam, I would be surprised. I think the AIFF will have to go back on the offer from the minister to get DD as the official formal um, media partner, and then we'll see if there is a streaming partner, or if it goes on AIFF YouTube, and then we'll see. Today, Indian women team lost. Yes, Saurabh, we discussed it early on in the show. Indian women's team suffering a 0-2 loss to FK Metalist Kharkiv from the Ukraine in a match in their training camp in Turkey. Teddy conducted a survey in Kolkata and found that the main source of pollution is dust particles due to construction, followed by vehicle pollution. Yeah, which I think that's in most of India the biggest problem. I think Kerala has decent air quality. Yeah, Murali, Kerala is good quality compared to others, but again, Kerala has an advantage. A state on the on the water and ocean, and that helps. Enoch can talk about competing with European teams. I said, Murali, sometimes they win, sometimes they will lose. Will East Bengal sign a new foreign striker for I said, sort of they are in the market, but it seems like at the moment Pereira Diaz staying at Mumbai City, and supposedly Diego Mauricio is going. Maybe if he comes back to India, they will maybe sign somewhere else. Your view on former Giants clubs like Sagak FC, Pune FC, Mandra United, JCT. And they had their time. When I started watching uh, um, JCT were the team, right, in the 90s. Um, Salgaka thereafter then for a certain period of time, then Mahindra United, later on Pune FC. So yeah, they had their time in Indian football, and sadly for different reasons. GCT had financial issues shut down. Mahindra was a marketing decision because they thought the football team is of no marketing value. Um, Salgaka pulled out of the system, Pune FC as well, because they wanted to focus on youth. And then again, Salgaka is still there at youth level, but and even pulled their first team out of the Goa Pro League, but Pune FC pulled completely and sold off their business to FC Pune City. Bangalore's Prakash Padukone facility in Hyderabad has Gopichand's, if I can recall correctly. Yeah, but Uchud, are they stadiums? Are they stadiums facilities? I don't know. Interkashi is in loan owners of stadium, right? Of which stadium, Raj? The one that they're building in Kashi, if you're talking about that. Um, so I would say if you're talking about that stadium that they're building, then they are the loan owners of that. Yes. AQI in Kerala is not that great compared to any developed part of the world. It is better than rest of India, but doesn't mean it's best AQI. I think, Goku, no one would say that anywhere in India you will get best AQI. I think that does not exist. Again, I think most of India's problem is that India always falls into the worst category, and again, there is no AQI conversation, so to say that any Indian city could be possibly in a very positive bracket, right? So again, that's a sad reality. But again, they need to work on it, and yeah, across India, I guess. Right, 1 hour, 13 plus minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. 17 likes so far today. And if you're liking the conversations, if you're listening to it, and 3,713 is still the number we're stuck. Slowly growing. We slowed down our growth a little, guys. So share with other people. Like my videos. Watch my videos. I'm seeing that a lot of you are not watching my short videos. Do watch them. I'm trying to put effort into it. So do watch them. If you don't, then there is no reach, and then other people will not be able to see it. Do you think interest of the owner and player often had collusion? That's why development had struggled in football. I personally feel. No. Morally, I don't know why you're coming with that. No, I mean, the point of the owner is the owner is spending money. That's the one side, and the players are earning money, right? So that clash is there anywhere in the world. How FC Pune City shut down? Raj, they had to shut down because the owners were caught in financial fraud. And um, yeah, they were forced to shut down and had to sell their club. Mahindra United used to organize a Mahindra Fed Cup amongst the employees of all Mahindra Group companies. Top 8 teams played in final round. Mumbai met the first team players. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Didn't know that, Ochut. Sir, Interkashi started building their own stadium. Sir, what is stopping Punjab City to do this? As I've heard, they have planned it 4 years back. Karam, Interkashi has not started building their stadium. So that is the first thing. Interkashi wants to build the stadium. So that is always the problem. And Punjab is not planned to build a stadium for the last 3, 4 years. Punjab has been planning to build a stadium now for 7, 8 years. Even when I was there was a plan to build a stadium. Property has been an issue. Interkashi has worked around it by tying up with the university and building the stadium on that university land. That's the only difference, and Punjab has not been able to do that. So that's the reality. Inter-Kashi Stadium is being built on some university property and signed MOU with them. So I asked about ownership. Raj, as far as I know, the stadium will be owned by Inter-Kashi, but I don't know. Again, I'm not privy to the documentation of who owns what in that complex. People who blame our population on pollution, your thoughts about it? Rubbish. Look at how Beijing in the last 10, 12 years has massively reduced pollution. So it's not about people. Again, yes, we need to talk about civic sense if we want to talk about things. Um, so therefore, yeah, it's not a population issue. I want to reduce some of your subscribers. Which team do you support? Is more since you're from West Bengal, you must support either one of the two teams. Saurabh, I've said, I support East Bengal, but I also say because I've worked in the Indian Super League and I've created Mumbai City and have been involved in the creation of the Academy of Punjab, Round Glass Punjab. Those are the two teams which I support more. And I don't think if I say, and this is public knowledge, that I've supported East Bengal, even though, of course, I get a lot of hate in regard to East Bengal. Do you think Real Madrid has some ego issue? Of course, they have, Morali. 100%. As I say, watch, guys, a lot of the questions you're asking and regularly, you can find out in the videos that I make. 4, 5, 6 minutes. Do spend the time. Do put in a little effort to watch those videos, because all your queries, those small little queries that you ask here and there, can be answered through those videos. Madras, you see, have they impressed you? Not yet, Murali. Infrastructure looks interesting. Talent looks potentially interesting. Let's see what the end product is. I only care about the end product. Pune has always been a strange case. Balewadi was a nice little venue, looked good on TV, but none of the clubs survived. Pune FC, FC Pune City, Kalyani Group team, DSK Shivajins, you seem to have forgotten. And, you know, uh, So therefore, yeah, one of the reasons that I've been told very often from people in Pune is that the stadium, the Balewadi, is a little away from the city, from the heart of the city. On the other side, there are different reasons for all of these to shut down, right? Pune City, as I said, the owners embroiled in financial scandals. That's why they had to sell the franchise. Pune FC took a learned decision to sell their academy and things to FC Pune City and exit Indian football. That was the Peninsular Group of the Parimals. Kalyani Bharat exited after one season because they realized, oh my God, this is spending without getting money back. So they thought it didn't make sense for them. And DSK Shivajan, similar to FC Pune City, financial irregularities and the ownership group were arrested, got into trouble, and therefore that's the problem. I've heard that Blackburn Rovers is have Indian owners. Is it correct? Yes, Blackburn Rovers have the Rao family from Pune as owners of the club. Reducing the private government was a joke, nothing serious, mate. Understood, Saurabh. So PUC has built some practice pitches near Chandigarh in Manakpur, Sharif village. Hopefully, stadium is the next thing we see from PUC. But we're tired of seeing a team playing outside of Punjab. Yeah, Karam, let's hope so. But again, it is not, as I've said, even the training pitches is something that we spoke in 2017, 18, 19 about, right? And we are now in the year 2026. So these are some of the conversations which have been had over the last 8 years. And that shows you the difficulty of creating all of those things in an Indian context. It is very, 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 very complex sometimes to sort these things out to get a venue in place. So therefore, sad thing, but reality. Um, I hope and I wish Punjab see soon to play in Punjab, but we'll have to wait and see. I can vouch for Navada's East Bengal support. We are a staunch East Bengal family since the club's inception, 1920. Yes, Uchud, we are. Uchud is a cousin brother of mine. So therefore, he can vouch for that. Diego Mauricio signs for Intercashi. Is it true, bro? LS, he is supposedly on the market, but I don't know if he signed anywhere. You know? So that is um yeah. What do you think is the difference between the culture and football knowledge of Indian football fans and European football fans? Sort of very difficult question to answer because the European football fan doesn't exist, right? Fan culture in Germany is different than in England. In England is different than in Spain. In Spain is different than in Italy. Italy is different than in France, in Belgium, Holland. Every I mean, country wise, I'm talking about Europe. But again, if I look at India, the fan culture in Kolkata is different than the fan culture, let's say, in Mumbai or from that in Goa. Look at the one in Kerala, is its own way, but that's different than how they support in the Northeast. And then again, that is one thing. Knowledge is something which is something which I also question the European fans on, these friends of mine, because we have those conversations. Because to me, knowledge is you can know things, but actually you might not know things. That is what I always said to my friends. So therefore, for me, that's always a challenge. A challenge that the fan culture. Um, yeah, let's see what happens. I'm surprised how Indian Giants not invested in big clubs. Raj, you have to open your books. You have to literally drop your pants, and I don't think Indian groups are open to that. Arun fan show as power. Yes, Murali, thanks. Yeah, show your power. Like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Let's keep on growing the community, guys. Let's get more people involved in these kind of conversations, in these lives. Watch my videos. I repeat myself every day. Help me to grow and push this. JCD played some NFL home matches at their own facility. More of a good practice facility, I would say, not a National League's standard, of course. They did that. And then, of course, one is to remember originally, um, they played at the Ambedkar Stadium in Delhi, right? So this whole problem that Punjab FC have had in the last few years is something that GCT faced also initially as well. Is there any Indian club have any strategic partnerships with foreign clubs at present? Yeah, FC Bangalore United uh, still tied up with Sevilla, FC Sevilla, so they have one, and others can't. Kerala United belongs to a foreign ownership. Who owns Kerala? United is part of a foreign ownership group, but I couldn't tell you who they owned. Uh, 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 uh. I'm trying to figure out. No, where is it written? Yeah, United World Group. So they are. Otherwise, I don't know who's owned by foreigners at the moment. What are major problems you think England had, which has kept on going? Lack of success. Yeah, Carol United belong to Sheffield United. Yeah, they belong to a Kuwaiti guy. Can't Panchkula Stadium be upgraded? Maybe just the pitch and dressing rooms to start with. Anshut, I don't know what the logic is. What needed? I don't know if also because Panchkula falls into Haryana. If Punjab FC don't want to go there, might be. I think currently Sheffield United are out from that. Good question. Let me check if uh, what was written in there. Let me see the owner of the group. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, he has. Sorry, he's from Saudi Arabia. So I don't know why I said Kuwait. And he was the former chairman. The owner of the group is a former chairman of Al Hilal. Okay, interesting. And then bought into Sheffield United, bought into Beerschot in Belgium. Yeah. And signed Al Hilal United in Dubai and also Kerala United. And then La Berrichon de Châteauroux in France. Interesting. He is. But does the United World Group exist? Just one second. I'm trying to figure. It's an interesting question. I'd like to read up on this. Seems to still exist. Okay. Interesting. Work-life balance, how do you see on going to bed in India as a person who work both sides? How do you see? I don't know what the discussion in India is. Um, in India, um, you have to balance work and life. I think that is very, very true. But again, with the situation being the situation around the world being as it is, I think you can't, push too much of a 4-day week or whatever, less working hours. Doesn't make sense. Super League Kerala, your view, bro. LS, very interesting to see how it persists, survives in the future. I think the Super League Kerala, there are some questions about it. Um, and therefore, I'm interested to see if they can rectify their mistakes and move on in the right direction, or if they can't do that. A much more mature performance was the medalist. At least they tried to physically compete with Ukrainians. A lot of work to do still. Interesting, Simon. You're saying that, and I remember at the start of the show, Ochut was raising the points that it is, it is they were physically not able to compete. What was it? Physically inferior. Ukraine goalie didn't seem to have the problems other women goalkeepers have. Lack of practice was evident. Second, third passes not reaching our players. Match dominated by the club. So that was the opinion of Uchud early on. Your opinion is contradicts that, so to say, or is different. So therefore, it's always very interesting to have these sort of conversations about quality of opponents. But yeah, any good news for ISL? No, man, nothing. Again, the RFP went out today in regard to media, but um, yeah. So therefore, for me, we'll have to wait and see. Al Nassr versus FC Goa, Al Hilal versus Mumbai City. Do you think in forward played this level of opponent before? Yeah, they have morally. We have. So all of Iker, Tiri, Borja, Alexis, Franca, and one big Persiap, the Wolves equivalent in the region. Let's see if they can survive. Yeah. Um, very interesting. That all of them have gone to that club. But it's interesting to see. If I look at the squad now, yeah. Um, if I look at that Alexis joined them earlier, right? Alexis joined them, has already played for them. You had then Franca already in the team. So those two from Mountain Sporting. Now you have Borja, you have Tiri, Iker. Um, yeah, insane. Insane to think that these guys are gone there. Is broadcasting tender? Yes, the broadcast tender was released today by the AIFF. 1st of Feb is the last date. I mean, he's right in certain aspects, but it wasn't all that dominant. Metalists were much more reserved and we need to hold the ball and move about it. Simon, never forget it was a friendly, right? So therefore, these kind of things also can be can be so yeah. So that's something which we need to keep in mind when we talk about the quality part of things, right? Where we are. Do you have the opportunity to work with ESPN? How do you rate? I find the quality. Yes, Murali, I worked with ESPN Star Sports in the past during the 2010 World Cup, actually. So therefore, if you ask me, have I done work for them? Yes, I have. Right, 90 minutes of this live with the Indian football and more discussion with today's headline. the ISL. What issues are still there? What issues are still pending? Yeah, a lot of questions, and we'll have to wait and see. Therefore, once again, like, share, and subscribe here. 20 likes so far. We stand at 3,713 at this moment in time as I speak to you. Thank you as always. Yeah, so that's the thing. Yep, at least it was better than the Pink Ladies Cup last year. Can't judge by one game. Simon, you can't judge, and the question is what kind of team that the opponent play. What's the quality of the opponent? Also, I can't judge Ukrainian women's football. So yeah. Mm. Even Queens Park Rangers have Indian owners. My one friend told me just now. Is it so? Yeah, LS not owners, co-owners, stakeholders. The Mittal family, right? Aman Bhatia, longtime CEO of the club, but yes, QPR have Indian owners. Arvind wants to know where the conversation was happening about Indian football. Yeah, it is. It is. It is the way it is. No, as I said to you multiple times, um, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy where we are at this moment in time, talking about all of these things and where we stand and what we are, what we need to do. And yeah, Indian football is at the crossroads, guys. Is it? Are we going to be able to do what is needed to push us over the line? Can we get over the line? Can't we get over the line? And that is to me, yeah, a question which was there, which is there, which will remain there, for which we need to find a solution, right? Will we do what is needed? Hey, the Vapes, any updates on Mumbai City FC at Mumbai Football Arena now that BJP is in power? Can the sports ministry help? Do you see the recent video? The Vapes, from what I saw, it looked like as if the Mumbai Football Arena was a bus parking lot for the elections, right? If you're talking about that video. Uh, if those, I don't know, multi-ton vehicles have literally trampled on the ground, uh, mm, insane to think, just insane to think that a football ground actually is a bus parking lot in Mumbai. Shows also the value of sport in the financial capital of India. Um, from what I know is Mumbai City's problem is that getting the ground ready for the shortened ISL season most probably is too complex. So it could be that Mumbai City could be forced to play elsewhere. And then if they had to consider playing somewhere, it is most probably the Fatorda in Goa. Right. So that's the yeah, that's my understanding of things at this moment in time as I speak to you all. So yeah, very sad situation for Mumbai City at the moment. I heard that the BMC increased the rents because they know we are desperate. The waves, that's also a thing. And the funny part is that the sports minister had said no, that grounds and rents would be taken care of and all that kind of stuff. So it seems like you can't even trust the sports minister of India anymore with such kind of statements. Very difficult, in my opinion. And at the moment, I feel we're in a situation where I don't know, are we going to get out of it? Are we not going to get out of it? Right. And, so therefore, for me, yeah, interesting to see what happens. Um, but at the moment, if you ask me, I find it looks difficult. But again, I wish and hope the Mumbai City management is able to sort out something. The AIFF will never walk straight, isn't it? It's almost every time they will confuse the stakeholders, want to realize and then clarify. Sam, it looks like, no? Because at some level it is a little bit of stupidity and lack of knowledge and understanding of things. It seems like sometimes feel like it's deliberate, but then you speak to people and say no, they didn't actually know, right? And there's it is this lot is so unqualified to be in the positions. They've messed up everything that they could have messed up. It's just very sad. but they can't release the fixtures right till a broadcast partner is on board. It's so funny how it'll work out before 14th. The Wakes, there are two sides of it to look at it in regard to broadcast. Um, Forget the broadcast. I don't know the venues at the moment. I don't know if A can play in this venue, or B can play in that venue, or C can play in that venue. We've got 4 or 5 teams who are still struggling to fix their home venues, their usual home venues, because no one has taken. This is just insane to think. Since last April, none of the clubs seem to have taken care of their own grounds because they don't own it. It is right government owned, except Jamshedpur FC, but that's the advantage because the Tata own the ground. Everybody else is struggling, right? So on what conditions we will be playing? I don't want to think about that, right? We've seen what the state of the Fatorda was. It became better in December with a little bit of break. Now, if FC Goa has to share the ground with others, then to, you know, right? Kerala Blasters considering to go to Calicut because of ground issues in Kochi. Chennai having issues with the Sports Authority of Tamil Nadu. Um, you know, so I don't know. I honestly don't know what. TFC sorted out Kantirava, but what is the status of the Kantirava? I don't want to know what the status of the Nehru Stadium in Delhi is, or the Nehru as the Indira Gandhi Stadium in Guwahati, the Salt Lake Stadium, right? What's the status of the ground? Forget the lower tier with seats and all that stuff from the Messi disaster. Yeah. Hey, Rushabh, welcome back. They should call it off if clubs have any sense. Rushabh, I think we're past that. The clubs have had 3, 4, 5, 6 opportunities to say, you know what, thank you very much. We're walking off. Tata bye bye. We're gone. They had those opportunities. But the clubs did not do it for different reasons. So to me, we know where we are. That's on the ministry sort this mess. They've shot themselves in the foot by announcing the dates without having a plan. The ministry doesn't care. The ministry has made commitments which it can't keep. Why would the Tamil Nadu government agree to what they say and said give it to for free? Why would the Bengal government say give it for free? Right? Why would XYZ government, the Kerala government, even the own governments run by the BJP have not agreed to hand over grounds for free? A reality at this moment in time. And that's one of the many reasons I would like to boycott this nonsense. Yeah. Simon, again, there are two sides to the story. I think, there is boycott is something that should be considered and discussed. But the problem is, we as Indian football fans, if we don't support Indian football now, you know, uh, that if we don't support, then the thing is, you know, um, I don't know where we want to go. What's your thoughts on Jaideep Basu? Is acting like a saint now, whereas he was one who objected the most against everyone in Pride and he himself enjoyed the prejudice when in power. The waves, hypocrisy, right? Hypocrisy to the core. All these people, and there are people who offer these kind of people a platform. What to say? The less I say, the better. No, so these people are part of the problem. They're never part of the solution. That's the sad part. You know. So that's the reality. Mumbai City FC can arrange cooperage. No, Rishabh, I don't think that the cooperage is in a state to host ISL matches. By the way, I was watching a podcast on Sportsful in the evening, a very admirable story on our way. Thanks, the waves. Yeah, I've done a few things, right? Certain people will call me a podcaster or a blogger, but I know what I've done. Why football have failed to match the popularity of cricket as both the games have not been developed in India? No, LS Football has been popular. Football at some stage opened up, and you saw the quality around the world. And that is, I guess, that's the biggest thing that we realized when we opened Indian football to the world. Oops, out there is a football, a level of football which is much, much better than what we are used to and what we play. I have no hopes till September this year. Welcome to the club, Simon. I mean, that it is my concern. My honest concern at the moment is that can we get through the next few days and weeks and months, given the reality of things, right? Whatever this jumbled up khichdi is being created, it is, you know, it is a big problem. And to me, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Uh, Time for you to throw a shit. No, nah, whips, not my style. Again, if these people want to talk, yeah, let them talk. And the point is, the guy has exposed himself more than anything else. Listen, I know what I've done. I don't need to be told what I have done by a sport presenter, nothing more, nothing less, who wants to have a conversation on Indian football. You can't have it. Surely the same is going to restart again post May. Simon, let's see what happens. No, that's my concern at the moment is where do we stand, right? My problem is with this whole league thing with 20-year contract and all. I know from enough entities who are saying, listen, we cannot sign the 20-year contract with the AIFF. They're clearly telling me, said we cannot sign 20-year contract with the AIFF. I say why? I said then the guy said, because it is such a big problem because you're committing yourself to financial suicide because there is no clarity on if ever, let's say ever, I'm using a big word, if ever a commercial partner will come forward, if the AFF is going to run the league and own the league. You know, so let's wait and see. By the way, Arunava, Mumbai City is going in with Mohandas as assistant coach. I've heard so many shady stories about him and his behavior. Plus, only two foreigners with so many players' contracts running out in May. The waves, the reality is, I'll be honest to you, that Mumbai City, you know, um, is still playing and is still part of the Indian football club ecosystem is the biggest positive of everything that we're talking about. And I include all other clubs and franchises as well. Because all that has been happening over the last few weeks and months, I would have expected at least one or two to actually fold. Clubs to say, you know what, thank you very much, Tata bye. They have not done that. And that folding, I hope not, but that folding might happen in the summer. If you ask me, that's my honest, honest concern at the moment in time when I speak to you here on this channel. Right? So therefore, it is a very look at where we were a year, 1.5 years ago, or what quality we had, what potential we had. Um, but the realities of Indian football have forced City Football Group to leave, right? That has hurt Mumbai City. Yeah. And I give credit to Bimal and to Ranveer that the club still exists. And to all other owners as well. We're going for a proper restart with last few months on contract of Peter 2, Purba, Vikram, Ayush, so many of them leaving. Yeah, the Waves. Let's see what happens in the summer. I think there's going to be a whole reset of the market, you know, and that will be very interesting to see what happens, who wants to spend, what money comes in, what money goes out. There's a lot of questions at the moment. Odisha likely to fold. The Waves, they're candidates, right? Odisha are candidates, Chennai are candidates to me. Even the Blasters, um, you know, uh, others as well. I think most entities will be looking at this, and some of the, if you ask me, I would have, difficult decision to say, you know what, um, let's not play ISL. Just let's keep our youth teams. Oh, the youth system is also not properly structured, right? Although I wanted these lot to actually utilize the window for better constructive talking with the FSL, but the flawless meetings with no makes me doubt my feelings. Yeah, Simon. The problem is that FSCL has been gone since the summer. I've said this X number of times, you know, and that's the situation. I would say we perhaps would have been in a much worse position than where we are now. Simon, yes, we could be standing here with no league at all, right? So therefore, for me, um, as I've said, I'm still positively surprised that all the entities are still there. And we're talking about an ISL. If one of them start paying higher salaries again, the rest will follow. No, so they will not. And the cycle will continue. At the moment, I don't think so. That's the reality because Mohun Bagan are still paying their salaries. East Bengal are still paying their salaries at a higher level. And even they've signed players, both of them, over the year, while the others have calmly, quietly, done and reduced their costings. So therefore, I don't agree to your point. Do you know what the new ownership structure of Mumbai City FC would be? Rambi was owning only 90% since CFG came in. It's back to the old, ownership pattern. Bimal with the majority and Ranbir with the minority stake. Also, it's so funny and share that not a single player left Mohun Bagan, even their foreigners, all sitting on fat checks. Yeah, that's the point, right? That's what I'm saying. What's up? Mohun Bagan and East Bengal have said, no, they're not reducing salaries. And after hearing that, suddenly other team players, like for example at Mumbai City, players are saying, "Arey, bhai, udhar to nahi kar rahe, why should we?" Right? So therefore, that is our problem. So that's another problem that is going to come, right? There are problems at some other teams, you know, on this issue. Has the financial bubble blasted, or will we be back to square one if things take a turn for the good? Simon, the question is how quickly does the turn for the good come and how much money comes into the system? Because your problem remains, your player pool is still very, very, very limited, right? You will not have suddenly next summer 30 new players coming into the scene and diluting the scene, and you're saying, hey, listen, I can spend 20 lakhs less but get the same quality. Doesn't exist. And if East Bengal, Mohun Bagan are going to push it up, they will push it up further. But the others are most likely to be controlled. The good is hypothetical. Yeah, yeah. At the moment, let's see. What do you make of players at Mumbai? See, City not agreeing for a pay cut. It's so messed up because Esigo straight up threatened their players that if you don't take a pay cut, we'll have to withdraw. The Waves, they agreed resistantly. Mumbai knew that tactic and the players disagreed. Um, Again, we're talking about a tactic, what the club can do to force players to a reduced wage. Um, I don't know what the reason is. Again, I didn't ask to be very honest because this is something. And even if I'd ask, I wouldn't say it publicly. Let's go because I think this is internal discussion with Mumbai City and they've not solved it so far. The problem is at the end of the day is that the players are talking amongst each other, right? And they know, oh, this club is doing this, that club is doing that. Oh, you know what? There's certain clubs who are keeping promises and all that stuff. So we'll have to see. So that's the reality of where we are. Yeah. So it's tough, it's difficult, but it's I don't know where we're gonna go with this. Mohun Bagan are just as unserious as Madrid. Yeah, same set of problems, indirectly. Following a Kenyan club through a YouTube series, was amazed how organized lower division leagues are. Every club playing 20 or 34 matches on Saturday, Sunday, and here we are without a top division league. Yeah, Aryan. Why are you surprised? I believe but the clubs are more at fault as they gave an inflated contract in the first place and are now acting sorry. It is, yes. But the problem is also if you wanted a good team, you wanted to fight for championships, you had to pay those salaries. Otherwise, you're mid table or lower table. Let's not bring them into the picture. Yeah. My solution for player pool is let there be no relegation for next 5, 7 years. Lower my promotion and pick young players from I League and I League Two. Let them train with first team stuff. So what? Let them train on what? What you going to? How you going to increase the pool quality? Forget you increase the pool, but you're decreasing the quality. Na? Where's the quality, right? And use them as bench players. What do if you're bringing in bench players and your key players are injured? What? Utsav doesn't work. Doesn't work at all, in my opinion. Ray Ferdinand, how do you rate him as defender? He's good at United in England to some extent, but again, he's not my type of player if you ask me. Right? It's not, yeah, it's not the kind of defender that I like, if that was the question. Right, 1 hour 52 minutes on this live on this Sunday. Um, it's gonna be, yeah, interesting to see in the coming days. What will Mumbai City will do now? I don't know. They're talking, they will talk, and then they'll have to find a solution. If there's no solution, either they say, you know what, we're not playing and thank you very much, Tata bye bye, or they have to then pay the full salaries. That's, I guess, what's left. I don't know, is the venue for the game of Hong Kong finalized yet? I thought yes. Wasn't it Bhubaneswar? Let me check. Um I thought it is. Is it not? Is it 1 second? Match six. No, it hasn't got any, but it says buy tickets. Acha, venue to, okay, interesting. There are tickets on the market, but they say, acha, no listings for the event. Okay. I thought it was Bhubaneswar. I hope that RFDL and the AIFF Youth League don't shut shop. That the only lifeline we have left at the moment. The AIFF Youth League is a danger, no? Who's going to fund it? You know, Simon, RFDL and all the other Reliance Foundation football development projects will continue. The future, well, there's no future. Why do I even think of that word even? Dangerous. Because the quality is so bad of a national team, I would rather have young, hungry player than quality player for next 3, 4 years. Foreign coaches could groom them into decent players. No, it's a this. I will groom our players. I will develop our players. I'll do this. I'll do that. Nice idea. A coach at a club is looking at success immediately. He doesn't care about what's going to happen in 2, 3, 5 years because that's not his job. Some coaches do, then it's a bonus. Most coaches don't. And your quality of players, if you're going to keep them on benches, you're not going to play them. How is this going to improve? They need to play and play good quality football. Your young players are not pushing the older ones. Where are your hungry players? Once you sign the players, you put them on the bench. We see it. Look at the how many players have ended up at Mohun Bagan East Bengal in the reserve teams, and we're talking about them. I saw the other day Shine Banerjee is now part of the Bengal Santosh Trophy team. Shine Banerjee, I remember 2.5 years ago, people were saying, oh, he will be an India international. So this bench idea, nice in theory, practically, utterly rubbish. Utterly rubbish. If we don't have quality to replace what we have, nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. And that is sadly brutal reality in my opinion. And if we like it or not, that is where we need to work very, very hard. We need quality, right? And the so-called rubbish players, bad players, this players, those players, that's what we have. And the next generation, again, you say, oh, we won. And then suddenly you're losing 6, 7, 8 nil. Even then, you're not fine. Again, under 23s are our best sign. My best example was Super Cup. That a lot of the under 23s who people have been saying need to play, most of them got limited to no game time. Yeah. The league restructuring has to happen with a fixed set of teams in the top tier instead of the constant pros, promotions, and relegations. We have to strike a balance between financial stability and diluting the quality. I like the Swiss format. Simon, yes, but the point is the Swiss format this year is only there because you've got a shortened league, right? Next year, we are hoping for a proper league. If we're hoping for a proper league, that means what is the format? How many teams? To me, already 14 teams are too many. Mohammedan Sporting still need to prove to me that they have the funds to run the whole season. Other teams are also, you know, the owners still have to open their uh, checkbooks or their accounts. So these are all realistic issues and problems which we face at this moment in time. How are we going to get out of this and solve all of them? Simple question. Is there a solution, a realistic and honest solution which can get us out of this massive mess that we find ourselves in, right? And that's why I'm saying that we're even discussing relegation. They have saying, oh no, we have to check with the Supreme Court. No, you don't have to check anything. You can take a decision. It is your call. These guys are not willing to take hard, tough decisions, hard, tough calls, which are needed in the interest of Indian football. That is where we are stuck. And therefore, very important point, financial stability and diluting the we have diluted the quality, right? And that is where we are stuck. I'm a big fan of it. Thanks a lot, Vivan. Always like to hear that if people are fans of my work. And yeah, it is. It's we have a lot of stuff that needs to happen, and let's wait and see when it will happen. Right? That's my right. Therefore, I've said, and I don't need to change my saying for the last 3 4 months. Um, for me, not having a league most probably is the best thing to happen. But then we've got the players and the staff and all that stuff, right? So I would have said, listen, everyone for the season take a certain level of a pay cut across the league, and then let's work on next season, right? The AIFF wants to box through a 20-year contract, which I would not sign. If you ask me, I would not sign. Sums them up completely. Yeah. Almost like a not too difficult to untie, I believe. No, it's not. It is difficult. Simon, is this difficult? It is not easy. Let's be honest about it. It is difficult. It is complex. But if the right things happen, you can rectify those things. And that is the question at the end of the day. Are people willing to do and take measures which take you in the right direction or not? And my learning at the moment seems to be we're not willing to do that, right? That seems to be the problem. So therefore we're stuck where we are, and therefore we are, I don't know, it's it's a big challenge, and to me, I hope that we get out of this, and I don't know. But now I spoke to someone in Mumbai City say where I told them your suggestion. They said that the owners won't agree for no action in a season like at Jamshedpur FC. So an idea that it might sound good in theory, but probably not all owners would be on board. The waves. That's the see. The problem is what is the biggest learning of the last 3 4 months? You know, uh, the clubs do not speak with one voice. Simple, right? The clubs are not. talking in the same language. And you have multiple teams who have their own interests. And that's the problem. Sir, I would rather have a positive, hungry young player who is running, pressing, just to impress his coach and get pro contract than already established players. Utsav, but if no quality, right? You're not getting the point. If there is no quality, if these players cannot step up, you are dropping the quality, right? Your positive hunger after the first contract is gone anyway, right? This is welcome to the Indian football world. You have to wake up to some realities that are sadly the way they are. And I won't be able to change it at this moment in time, and you won't be able to change it at this moment in time, right? For one player who shows that hunger and goes through with that hunger and does something and has some quality, you have most probably 100 who are you cannot utilize. And that is, as that. I hate to say that, but those are realities at the moment, and we have to live with it, right? So therefore, with that, I'll slowly come to an end. Over 2 hours on this live on this Sunday evening, 18th of January 2026. There are still issues with the ISL. The RFP for the media rights of the Indian Super League have now been put out into the public domain, and it will be interesting. And we'll have to see what happens. And Simon says, hey, every day I start the day with a smile and end the day left disgruntled. For how long will we continue working like this? Gute Nacht, sir. Simon, welcome to the club. We're always wishing tomorrow will be a better day, but things are the way they are and things don't change, you know? You know, and Utsav says, few club owners know they will never win the league. So if they really invested in football for betterment, why not focus on football development instead of trophy? Utsav, because they're not investing for the betterment of football. They're investing on their own ego, and on their own ego, they will want to win. Right? You are very idealistic on that front. Nice, but and I need the quality to back it up, which is also lacking. With that, end this live. I'll catch you tomorrow with another live. Let's see what happens in the next 22 hours, and we catch up tomorrow. See you then. Like, share, and subscribe, Arunfoot. Here on YouTube, visit my other social media, visit arunfoot.com. Like my videos, share my videos, and subscribe here as well. Thanks, and good night, everyone.